Good morning and welcome to the Minority Business Development Agency's virtual subs and sandwiches. Today we have one of our newest corporate partners, Harvey Cleary Builders, presenting with us today. I am MArshette Turner, Director of the Houston Minority Business Development Agency, and our Subs and Sandwiches is one of our signature programs, and we're always delighted to inform you about opportunities that await you, and we surely hope that you're taking advantage of such opportunities. During today's webinar, all attendees will be in listen-only mode. There will be Q&A at the end of this session, where my team and I will be asking Harvey Cleary Builders the questions that you yourself type into the chat for them. This presentation is being recorded and will be made available via email to all registered participants after this webinar. Of course, my MBDA team is here today, and they are Ms. Jessica Vasquez, our program coordinator, Ms. Diedra Sutton, our business advisor, Tanya McGilbert, our business advisor and alumni client engagement specialist, and Joni Hall, who serves as our business trainer. So I know you all are excited and eager, just as I am, to hear from Harvey Cleary Builders. So I will now turn it over to Mr. Sean McCord, who serves as director and shareholder of Harvey Cleary Builders. Sean?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Ms. Turner, thank y'all for allowing us to be here. Yeah, we are new to the organization. Greatly appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it. We're excited to be a part of it, and excited to have the opportunity to reach out to all the members there so that y'all can understand who we are, and more importantly, we can get to know you guys as well. So as she introduced myself, I'm Sean McCord. I've been here at Harvey for 19 years. I have Patrick Amalfi with me, who's been with us for over 14 years now, and I believe our HR director, PJ Davis, may be on the call listening as well. So again, thank you guys for the opportunity to be on the call with y'all this morning.
Absolutely.
So you can go ahead and flip the slide there. I'll give everyone a little intro of Harvey Builders. We got our start in 1957 working with Gerald Hines. We were actually the in-house contractor for Gerald Hines. So a lot of our work was in the Galleria. So we built Galleria 1 through 4 there off Westheimer and 610. We built the water wall there. So a lot of our start has Hines roots. Involved with it, with being involved with Gerald there with Mr. Hines. In the early 80s, Mr. Hines realized he didn't want to be in the construction business anymore. He wanted to be in the development business. So David Harvey Jr. and Joe Cleary bought out Mr. Harvey and Gerald Hines, and that's when we became Harvey Builders. So since that time, we have grown pretty expansively over those last years, of 40 plus years of. Now we have 5 offices, which we're headquartered here in Houston. We have an office in Austin, San Antonio, Washington, D.C., and a newly office that we just opened in the last 2 years in Denver. So we're trying to expand west as well. So as you can see on the screen, we have over 730 employees. We've currently, I believe, are working in 16 states, but we've done work, I believe, in over 25 states in our history. We have been historically ranked as the #1 general contractor by the Houston Business Journal here in town, and we have multiple groups within our organization that we diversify our portfolio with. So we have a base building group where we do ground up construction. A lot of the office towers you see that we do around town, oil and gas campus projects is done with our base building group. We have a corporate interiors group that does a lot of the high end law firms in town or new office build outs. We have a medical group, which Patrick has been involved with over the last several years down in the Med Center that we've been trying to grow. We have an industrial group as well that's done a lot of the tilt walls that you see around town. And then we recently started a mission critical group that does data centers and that. So we're trying to get that up and running. So we do roughly corporately in the range of maybe $1.5 billion a year. The majority of that is done out of this Houston office, which is probably $800 to $1 billion a year is done annually out of the Houston office. As you can see on the slide there, innovation, quality, integrity, that is the Harvey Builders, Harvey Cleary kind of corporate slogan there of that we want to be innovative builders and we want to do it quality, but we want to do it all with integrity. Excuse me, and with that comes being a safety-conscious contractor. We are a very client-driven organization where we try to get most of our work is usually repeat business from our customers, and we do that, but because of the integrity of how we do things. So at a high level, that's a 30,000-foot view of Harvey as a corporate view, and we can go ahead and change the slide here to talk about what's really important, what we're trying to do today of trying to understand how we can get our relation with the members here of MBDA and Harvey Builders and what we think the best steps of how we can facilitate that.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I echo Sean's sentiment. We're happy to be here. Glad to be a part of the group. As Sean just mentioned there, we realize that there's a tremendous amount of talent in the city and beyond that. And, you know, we recognize that not only is there a good amount of talent in town, we need a deeper bench of qualified folks to partner with and do business around town. So we're really excited about the prospect here. And so that's a mutually beneficial relationship for us both. Obviously, we need better trade partners and more trade partners. And our trade partners need the same in their general contractor. They need a partner, and they need more work. So that's what we're here to hopefully kick off, is to start a new relationship with a lot of folks on the call. So that being said, we still have a process. We still do things the way we do them, and we're going to continue that. But we're here to introduce it and sort of lay the groundwork out. So that everyone understands what the expectation is and how to get past the pre-qualification phase and start partnering on projects. So I'll start out just with that. Typically, what we'll do if we're trying to bring a new subcontractor or trade partner on, we like to vet at a very high level some metrics about those particular companies, and this is just a list of them here. So what we'd ask for anybody that wants to partner with us and do work with us here in the future, we'd ask that we have you guys submit your corporate EMR and TRIR stats for the last 3 years. That's your metrics, your total recordable incident ratio, and your experience modifier ratio. There's some pretty standard safety metrics that we're looking for because we're real stringent about who we do work with, and safety is an extremely important thing for us. It's important for our clients, and it has a lot to do with how we get that repeat business. So those metrics kind of flow all the way down the chain, you know, not only from our clients but to us and through us to our trade partners. We'd also like to know some of the hub and the MWBE small business stats, the percentage of the companies that we're talking to here, what those stats look like. Next thing is the annual volume. That's what you guys record in revenue. Is that 10,000? Is that $1 million? Is it 10 million? That kind of helps us gauge where the right fit would be, what projects would be right. Sean mentioned we have corporate interiors, we have a healthcare division. Within each one of those divisions, we do large work or we do really, really small work. So we need folks all across the spectrum when it comes to being qualified on certain scopes. Next one is your corporate manpower capabilities. That's just simply how many folks you got working for you. If you're an electrical contractor, do you have 100 people, 100 electricians working for you? Is it one journeyman and you know 99 apprentices, or what is that? So that's what we're looking for. That also helps us gauge where you might be the best fit. Relevant project experience. That is, if you're targeting a specific market, if you guys want to do work in healthcare, give us a list of those projects, relevant work that you've done and who you've done it with. If it's with Memorial Hermann and you did a cath lab or something like that with them on a mechanical scope, let us know that information. That also helps us zero in. And then your current insurance requirements. Just what kind of insurance packages that you carry for your company and your employees and so forth like that. So if you can, and we've got an email address here. We set this up specifically for this process. So all of these bullet points here, if you can just email us to that email address, the mwsbe@harveybuilders.com, and give us all of these metrics. We'll evaluate that. We'll get past the pre-qualification phase, and then we'll go on to the next step, where that is, showing you how to get the vendor approval forms, how to get that filled out, and we'll help expedite that process and get you in the system. So thank you for changing. Project bidding. So once that's out of the way, the next thing is, okay, you're approved, you're a vendor, you're in our system. We don't do things like, say, the UT system or MD Anderson, where projects bid publicly. Well, they'll just hit, an e-builder or something like that, and everybody gets a distribution. It doesn't necessarily work that way. Eventually, you'll get to a point where we know who you are, we know what you do, we've done work with you, and you'll automatically start making bid lists when we feel like it's the right fit. But initially, we need to get to know you. So the best way to do that, we think, is the networking. And the traditional networking office visits, they come, call us up, tell us you want to come by the office. We'll let you know the right time, whether that's a Monday morning or whatever day it is. Come by and meet some of our folks, meet some of our project managers, some of the people in the office, and start establishing that relationship with them. The other way is through Procore. And so we use this centralized project management software system where we bid all of our projects. And so once you're approved, once the vendor approval process is done, we get you into that database. So you're automatically linked into the bidding process, but no one will know to add you to that bidding process unless we start getting to know you. So that's why that networking and office visits and talking to folks that do the work is important. And then another good point that I want to make is that we don't have a centralized estimating department. You may, other general contractors, they'll have a pre-construction group that does nothing but estimate work, and that's who you would talk to. That's not the way it is here. It's much deeper. It's, all of our project managers from, directors all the way down to assistant project managers help estimate and procure the work. So those are the folks you got to meet. The people that are not only estimating it, but that are building it, buying it, building it, and closing it out. So that's really important. And again, just to reemphasize the networking and office visits, that's where you meet those folks.
Yeah, it's important to know that we operate a little differently here, and some of you may know this, but as Patrick mentioned, we don't have that centralized estimating group. So there's to get onto our bid list, if we have, let's just say, 25 project managers in Houston, almost that's 25 different estimating departments, because each team, you kind of go get your own work here at Harvey. So those teams are out actively trying to look for work and engage work and bid work. So it's not done through one centralized spot. So it makes it a challenge. It's not impossible to get in over here, but that's why we're trying to give some ideas of how we can do to get ourselves familiar with you guys along with you with us, is that it's a little bit of a challenge to get in the door just because we have so many different estimators. So by coming into the office to get to meet us, and through this process, we can help facilitate that, and we want to encourage that. But it's not going through one group where now that when a bid goes out, it gets distributed to every project that gets bid within our organization. So that was the intent of wanting to get here, and from the previous slide of trying to get some information of everyone on the call here, so that we can start vetting, because we want to make sure that just as much as we're a client-driven organization, we treat ourselves with just as equal respect, because we truly view them as a partner. And by doing that, we don't want to put them in a situation where we're asking them to bid and be on a job that maybe is too much for them, and or we're overloading you because we've given you too much work. So we want to make sure that we're working hand in hand and closely with that as a partner with you guys. So that's why we want to get the information we have on your safety information, your financials, and all of those things, just to make sure that it's a good fit, right? And that we can put you and us in the best position to succeed. So it's a little bit of a different story of getting in the door with us, just because we don't have that centralized estimating department, but we want to help facilitate that process by going through and getting the pre-qualification process done to get it initiated. So
Personally, I think it's better this way because you don't just get exposure to the estimator. You don't build the relationship with the estimator. You're building the relationship with the team that's eventually going to build it and close it out. And so when you get in the door with that team, not only do they start a relationship with you estimating and understand how you work with estimating, but they're also formulating their opinion about your performance based on how you built the job with them too. So whereas traditionally the only interface you get with a company is the guy that's crunching numbers on estimating, that's not the case here. I think you get a much better representation of your company doing it this way, because we're gauging your abilities based on how you built the project with us in addition to how you estimated it. So.
Yep. Yeah, so really in closing here, we wanted to just reconfirm our commitment to our diversity, which is expanding, to have a very well-depth subcontractor opportunities there that we have the ability to reach out to maybe some subcontractors that we haven't used in the past, and having this ability to use the MBDA here to meet y'all and understand y'all's skill set and what we can offer to mutually help each other. That we highly encourage if you could go to that email address, that mwsbe@harveybuilders.com, and get us that high level information so that we can populate that. We can start evaluating it quickly and start reaching back out to each of you that how we can take things to the next step. So we recently developed a diversity and inclusion committee, which I co-chair, that help ensuring our commitment to being diverse and inclusive to all the skill sets that you guys have to offer that maybe we haven't used before. So we're happy to be here, happy to introduce ourselves to you guys, and hopefully we can start building some relationships off this phone call today.
And I think that's the end of our presentation. So we're ready, prepared to take any questions from the audience.
Ms. McGilbra, do we have any questions in the chat?
I don't see anything, but I am definitely encouraging everyone to put your questions in the chat.
I have a question while we wait for others to respond. Do you advertise pre-bid?
I'm sorry, I can barely hear.
Okay, let me see if I can make myself louder. Do you advertise pre-bid opportunities?
Yes, we do. So it usually depends on job specific needs, correct? So, but yes, so obviously when we're in a project and have certain goals that we're trying to achieve, yes, we'll pre-bid and pre-advertise for those. I believe MBDA has some opportunities where we can advertise for some projects. We also do in local trade organizations and things of that nature. So yes, ma'am, we do.
Okay, and also, do you use I-square foot technology, where we go online, ION? There's several of them that advertise projects. You don't have any of those options. It's just always one-on-one opportunities.
We use I-square foot and
okay.
a couple of other programs internally to estimate, but the platform that we use to sort of bridge the gap between our bidding process and the bid submissions is through technology called Procore. And
okay.
Procore is our project management platform software that we do everything from bidding to billing, the RFI submittal process, drawing, document distribution, everything goes through Procore.
Okay, thank you. That helps
Yes,
a
ma'am.
lot. Mm-hmm.
Patrick, what is your response time after the MBEs have gone through the pre-qualification process?
It's usually pretty quick. Again, like we said, with this this email address that we've got set up is super streamlined. It's going to a very, very small group of people. So, you know, once we get these metrics, we're going to likely review them on a weekly, bi-weekly basis maybe. And we'll make selections based off of that, or make sure that, you know, the criteria are met and figure out where you best fit. And so I would say once it's submitted, I wouldn't imagine it'd be any more than, say, 2 weeks or so before, if someone's qualified, that they'd be contacted for vendor registration.
Great. It looks like the questions are trickling in. Here's one here. Are you looking for companies that perform final white glove cleaning, data center cleaning, and restoration of existing finishes?
Yes, we are. We're always looking for good final clean contractors. They're hard to find, and it's a very important part of our project. We're usually at the very, very end, trying to get it finished, trying to get it turned over, and yeah, we're definitely always looking for a final clean contractor that's got really good depth and you know, good amount of employees that can come in and knock the job out.
Well, and to that note, I mean, we are always looking for any expanding our to any contractor who's qualified, who can do the jobs that we're looking for and do it successfully, right? So we're always looking for good qualified partners with our subcontractor community. So anyone on the call, if you're an electrician or an earthwork contractor or you do sidewalks, you know, we have a need for all of those guys, and we're always looking to expand for good partners that we can partner with to either get advantage on cost or quality, whatever they may be for us out there in the industry. So we want to get a good expand all of our trade partners.
Throughout any phase of the construction process, do you need any film production, photography, or drone services as well?
So that's an interesting question. Patrick and I were just in a meeting Friday about needing some drone services to try to do some inspections of some existing conditions inside of a warehouse that, you know, these buildings are 40 feet tall, and we need to inspect some conditions of some fireproofing that the owner actually enlisted a drone company. So yes, we use photographs. We have different services that we use for different scopes. You know, some are for inspections and taking pictures before we cover up walls. The drones seem to be more and more in play when it comes to looking at labor and things. So to answer the question is yes, we're always looking for those types of services.
And then Patrick, are you all just commercial builders, or do you operate in the residential space?
Well, we do what we would call multifamily commercial, commercial residential, if you will. We don't do any homes or apartments or anything like that.
Okay. Okay. And then the other part to that is you mentioned a supplier diversity committee. Is that just internal, or do you have professionals in the DE&I space who are a part of that committee as well, but may not be employed by Harvey Cleary?
So that's a good question. As it stands now, it is internal committee. We have a corporate committee that oversees all of our offices, and each office has their own one. So obviously the needs in DC might be a little different than the needs in San Antonio, Texas, of how our outreach programs work and things of that nature. So we have one in each office, and then we also have a corporate one which I co-chair. But with us getting that committee started, we did enlist some outside help to help us understand the objectives we were wanting to try to meet and how can we best to choose them. So we had we did have a consultant firm, and I don't know the name personally, but we had a consultant firm that met with some of our vice president leadership group to help establish our program and how we wanted to get the grassroots of it going and implementation. So we did get outside help to help, but currently it's an internal DEI program.
And we do have some of our internal employees, those that are on the committee, that are involved in committees external to the company as well. Logic is one that we have a great bit of involvement in. So yeah, just to expand on that answer.
Awesome. Okay. I had a question, and it corresponds with another one. Somebody wants to know about the insurance for your projects, but I usually help with these pre-quals. And what documentation really are you looking for the insurance requirement for the pre-qual?
I think it would be just what maybe your current limits are that you have, because we'll have some that will be job specific, and if it's beneficial for us to provide a sample insurance that we provide that can maybe go out with this link, we'd be happy to provide our sample insurance of what we typically ask for our projects. Some of them vary based off different size, complexity, and owner contracts, right? But we have our standard sample that we'd be more than happy to provide as what our minimum requirement is to be on our projects. That might be the easier way to go.
Okay. And what is the EMR rate you're looking for, or not to exceed?
Yeah, so typically, the industry standard is 1 for EMR. So we would like to see something lower than 1. But we also ask for the trend for the last 3 years because we obviously, there are things that happen sometimes, right, to even good contractors. But we ask for more than just a snapshot in time because we want to see a body of work. So we want to be able to evaluate, did you acknowledge something and then have you done something to change it? So to say that we have a lot type number of a 1 or a 0.8 or something like that, we want to evaluate a body of work. So, but to answer your question, we would like for it to be below 1, but we don't want to discourage have the opportunity to look at it and review it with you and sit down and go through that history to see if we're trending in the right way and or making steps to correct it.
Okay, thank you. I'm looking.
And then another question, do you purchase mission critical power and mechanical equipment like UPS systems, CRACs, leak detection, direct or through electrical and mechanical subs?
It's usually through an electrical or mechanical contractor. UPS, for example, we buy through the electrical contractor. If we were buying a crack unit, which I think you mentioned, the CRAC unit, that would usually be provided through our mechanical contractor. But yes, we definitely do that. We have quite a bit of scope that involves that.
Okay.
Here's a question. Are you open to providing a listing of your local trade partners or subcontractors that have gone through your pre-qualification process? That's a really, 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 really long list. And we don't typically publish that. So,
yeah, if we go through I think I heard our accounting group the other day, I think we have over 40,000, vendors that are in that list. And we'd be hesitant to share. However, if, for example, you provide those UPS units, we would be happy to provide who our electricians are bidding on projects and things of that nature to get you connected with them. But to say that we would do a mass production of who our approved vendors are, I think we would be hesitant to do that. But we aren't so reserved that we don't want to share connections and have the opportunity to help get those connections made that would be involved on some of the projects that we're working on, if that makes sense.
Patrick, do you all have an MBE goal that you are aspiring to obtain or attain at this time?
Corporately, we don't have a set goal. We just want to be open to the opportunity for all. Obviously, we work on some of our projects in the medical field or some of our institutional type work where there are set objectives that's collectively between ownership and us as a team. And so we always try to strive for those, but we're not out set for a certain target other than just wanting to try to provide opportunity as best we can for those that are, that we can help to get in there. So no specific target, but just of opportunity. Yeah,
it's about, if I can use an analogy, it's about casting a wide net. And so we want to, open our, resources up in the city and find, more people, provide more opportunities for people, and bring on board the qualified contractors, the qualified trade partners that might not have otherwise been available by not, reaching out and finding, more resources. So yeah, no corporate goal. There's no, hey, we've got here, we're good, we're not going to do it anymore. It's about, trying to find as many resources that are qualified as possible.
Someone would like to know if Patrick can give them his email for further questions.
You
just call you. What do you?
Yeah, you can just call me. You can just call me.
Okay.
And their information is on the screen now.
Right.
Yeah, that's direct to the office, and just ask for me, and they'll connect you to me, to my desk phone, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
didn't see anything else.
This was an informative and enlightening presentation. Thank you so much, Sean and Patrick. We do appreciate, number one, you being our newest corporate partner, but we certainly appreciate you availing Harvey Cleary to our membership. We absolutely recognize and award our corporate partners who do business with our MBEs. And so we're glad that you're now a part of us and in this space, and we certainly look forward to building on this relationship.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
same here.
We're excited to be part of it.
Yeah, thank you for having us. This was great.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, if there are no more questions, we have finished early today.
All right.
So we will let you all go. Of course, we'll be talking. And any questions, again, for all of our members and friends on this webinar, please reach out to Patrick Amalfi or Sean McCord at the numbers you see on the screen. And again, thank you so much for attending. And
Yeah, thank you.
we're
Thank y'all.
letting you go early. Pardon?
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a good one, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.